Hello and welcome to our tutorial on the tech count spreadsheet for concept 20 groups. This spreadsheet is actually called the tech count and pay spreadsheet, parentheses, banking days, and parentheses, but we'll often just call it the tech count spreadsheet. And we use this in order to fill in the supplemental for your group. There are two things that we are going to pull from the spreadsheet to the supplemental, which is your tech count and your average tech pay. These two metrics will be pulled from this spreadsheet to the supplemental. I will show you the Chrysler supplemental quickly to show you where that comes from. This is the average hourly cost per tech. It's fine if it's the same number throughout. If you want to break it down into each individual labor category, feel free. More information is always better. And then the tech count cell is going to be down here. Just a note, the tech, as far as we're concerned, is going to include licensed technicians, apprentices, detailers, lube kids, whatever you've got, that any positions that generate revenue for the service department on the financial statement are going to be included there. So that your tech count is going to go to this cell here. And this is certainly a much more important number than the average cost per tech. This is very good information to have. It helps with a number of calculations in the composite, but the tech count is the most important point here that we really want to make sure we get as accurate as possible. So the spreadsheet that we're going to use is this tech count and pay spreadsheet, banking days, and the way that we fill it out is going to it's already laid out here in the steps. I'll walk us through it really quick, but just for your own purposes to understand what we're looking for, we want to look for a tech count that represents how much time, available time, you had in your shop to produce hours that could be billed to a customer. So we're not necessarily, when we say tech count, looking for how many technicians are employed by your company. Rather, we want to know of the total amount of time spent producing labor in your service department, how many technicians in a normal week, in an average store in your town, how many technicians would that actually represent if they were working a certain number of hours a day? And we use for our calculations here to determine the quote-unquote average technician 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Obviously, there are going to be technicians that work 60 hours a week or 80 hours a week. There are going to be technicians that work 20 hours a week, whether they're only part-time, maybe they're in school, maybe they're out training, whatever it may be. There's any number of reasons why you might have a technician working more or less than 40 hours a week. We are counting one technician as a 40-hour-a-week technician. Now, to determine for your particular month how much an average technician in your market would count for, we need to get your banking days. This number, this value here is going to be relatively easy to calculate. It's only going to represent the number of weekdays in a month, Monday through Friday, excluding holidays. So in this case, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. It's August 2016. There's 23 banking days, Monday through Friday, 4 weeks here, and then 3 extra days. There were no holidays this month, so 23 banking days is what I would represent for this month on my spreadsheet. Maybe I was open Saturday every day of the week and maybe half a day on Sunday, but that's irrelevant here. We're only looking for weekdays that are not local or national holidays. So in this case, if I was filling this out, I would say 23 banking days. Now, the technician name or number column, honestly, for our purposes, is irrelevant. So if you want to put in a technician's name or number to keep track of this moving forward, maybe use the same template for month after month, feel free. The most important thing is really that we are getting the available hours for each technician. So whether this says 1/2756 or Joe, the number of hours is what we really want to look for. So just to make things easy for discussion purposes, I'll put some names in there. So Joe, we're going to say Joe is our top mechanic, one of the best in town. Joe works 60 hours a week or so, and for this month he maybe took a day off, so he only ended up with 240 hours. Still a hardworking technician, probably putting out a lot of work. We also have to pay Joe more than anybody else. Joe makes 30 bucks an hour. Mary is going to be maybe our best steady technician. She's been there for 20 years. She pulls a steady 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, but she likes her weekends. She doesn't want to come in early or late. She's absolutely steady and working 180 hours in a month. David is our apprentice. He has to go out for classes. He is training often, maybe is away at school for full months at a time. Let's say for this past month, he took 2 weeks for training, and he was in the shop for pretty much 8 hours a day. Other than that, but not a full month by any standard. So he's 120. And sorry, so Mary's going to be, say, $28 an hour, and David is $16 an hour. So for the hourly tech pay, not nearly as important as the tech count, which is generated from the hours. But if you want to get very specific, you can add bonuses in, whether it's productivity bonuses or, if you have an end-of-year bonus that is going to be there, you can apportion, allocate it through the months. But really, just a good average of what they earn per hour on any given month is fine. So in this case, 30, 28, 16. I don't have to be too much more specific than that. And all I got to do is scroll down, and I'll find that because Joe worked so many hours, but David worked so few, we ended up pretty close to 3 technicians, but just a little bit less than 3, 2.93, and the average tech pay was 26.22. So I would just take this 2.93, I'd put it into my supplemental right here, and I would take this 26.22, and I'd put it onto the supplemental right here. Now, Concept does not need to see this spreadsheet. Your moderator would be more than happy to go over a completed spreadsheet to make sure you're doing it properly. No question, any of us would be happy to do it, but we don't need to see it unless you have questions on it. What we need to see is this number on the supplemental, which will then be transferred into the composite and will give us all the right data we want. So hopefully that helps clear up how to fill out this spreadsheet and kind of what we're looking for with this spreadsheet. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm Michael Larkin with Concept, and your moderator, whoever they may be, Michael Lynch, Dan Smith, Blake Littleman, Larry Pransky, Connor Lynch, and I'm sure many others to come. They're all very knowledgeable, and they can all do this very easily with you as well and make sure to answer any questions. So thank you very much for watching. Take care.